I'm Molly, a licensed insolvency practitioner at Park Walsh. So, can you close your limited company down when there's no assets or money within the company? So, what I want to discuss is, do you have to shut down your limited company if it's stopped trading? Well, yes, you do. So, usually you would have set up the limited company and you would have incorporated it at Companies House, and that starts the limited company. And every year you file properly confirmation statements and accounts, and then anything else that happens to the company, that all goes on the company register, and it goes on and on and on for years, unless you bring the limited company to a close. And it's not as simple as just ceasing to trade, stop trading. The limited company is still there. You'd still have to file accounts, albeit dormant ones. You'd still have to file confirmation statements. And then obviously with the rules that have come in, there's now verification for the parties, directors, shareholders on there. So you would have to cooperate with Companies House and still produce all those returns, which is a cost, especially if you're hiring an accountant or bookkeeper to do it on the company's behalf. So the limited company does have to be closed down if it's no longer needed. Now, if it's a solvent company, i.e. you've paid all the creditors and there's just, say, cash in there, then members' voluntary liquidation is most likely the best route for you from a tax efficient point of view. So if there's if there's a lump sum of money in there, members' voluntary liquidation is the right option. If the company was set up and never traded, and it's got no assets, no liabilities, never traded, you should look at dissolution or strike off. And the best way to find more information about that is to go to gov.uk and type in strike off, and it gives you a guide there because it can be done by the director. It's relatively quick. It takes about 2 months, so it's not too long, but it's very cheap as well. It's just a filing fee. So that's for if a company's never traded. But say if you've got a limited company, it's not solvent and it has traded, so you owe people money, and it may be that you've stopped trading, you've made all the employees redundant, and you vacated the premises, and you thought that was enough. Well, unfortunately not. The Companies House listing for that limited company keeps going, so you have to do something, and in that scenario, it's probably creditors' voluntary liquidation. That's an insolvent liquidation, and it wraps everything up for you in an orderly fashion. HMRC, if they're owed any money, they won't write it off. They would want to see a formal procedure like liquidation before they do write it off. So you have to put it into, say, liquidation. You have to do something with the limited company. And if there's no money there, what happens? And it's a very common question we get asked. So we would always try to take our fee from the assets of the company. So whether there's money within the bank account, or if there's debtors that owe money to the company and once they've paid, that money could be utilised for our fee, or we could sell the company's assets. There might be stock, motor vehicle, tables, chairs. There could be something that we could sell that would cover our cost. Or there might be an overdrawn director's loan account. So that would be where you owe money to the company and you could repay the overdrawn director's loan account, and we can use that money towards our fee. So there are options, and we can enter into repayment plans if needs be, and we'll try to keep it as cheap as possible. So, it's based off the circumstances of the case. So what I would say is to get in touch with someone like myself to discuss it and just explain the situation, and hopefully we will come to some arrangement so that the liquidation can go ahead. But I appreciate it can be a very difficult time, and directors don't really know what to do, and if there's no money there they feel very isolated and don't know where to turn. But what I would say is there is always an option, so get in touch and we can discuss it further. Okay, thank you.